sports fans. Welcome back to the KSN Underground Podcast. My name is Brian Gailey, and I am the host of your podcast. I have assembled a great show for you here today, and I'm not just saying that to keep you tuned in and listening on. We're going to be talking about some updates that's happened with the show. We're going to be talking to Coach Lease a little bit later. We have senior Daniel Yancey on the show a little bit later. Before we get all to that, though, how was your weekend? What did you guys do this weekend? You know, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of different activities happening in the basin. If you're watching on social media, let us know in the comments below what you've been doing. What are you up to right now? I was able to kind of sneak away this last weekend, got up, went out for a drive in my 4x4 vehicle and went up around Fort Klamath and explored some of the mountain roads over there. Wasn't doing any hunting. I know it's hunting season, but we went up there and took a look around and found my way up to nearly to the Sky Lakes wilderness. Come across an old fire, an old timber burn out there. It was kind of fun to get out and explore and have a little me time. And what do you guys do? What do you do for some me time? I just want to know, and let me know in the comments below what it is that, what do you like to do? Do you just relax at home? Are you a type of person that tinkers in the garage? Maybe you got an old car you like to work on, or who knows? Maybe going to the gym is your thing, or going fishing is your thing. Let us know. I'm curious. So if you've been listening along, you know our last couple of episodes, we break the show down into a couple of different sections. The first one, we've been interviewing and talking with Coach Lease. This week's no different. We got him on the show. The second section is our featured interview, where we've been talking to players on the Vikings. We talked with Josh Eldridge the other week. He is a sports personality for My Basin and 960 Sports. I've kind of gone and done some rebranding on those segments. We're trying to constantly improve the show. The first one we'll now refer to as Talkin Viks. We're going to still be talking with coaches, possibly players, about what's going on with Mazama Vikings athletics. Going to be all sorts of different things happening there. As we move forward, we'll be talking to head coaches for basketball, and spring season we'll be talking baseball, softball. A lot of cool things going to be happening there. Our second section, as you've heard before, is our featured interview. That's currently sponsored by our friends up at Brevada Brewhouse. That's a pretty cool place up on Campus Square. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend doing so. Stop in, get what I like to get. Get a vanilla latte or a vanilla mocha. I like to get mine iced. I don't know about you guys. What do you like? Do you like your coffee hot, or do you like your coffee iced? I'm an iced coffee kind of guy, unless it's like 20 degrees outside. So today on Talkin Viks, we are visiting once again with Mazama Vikings head coach Vic Lease. We're going to be talking about last week. Last week they faced Cascade at home. It was the matchup of the Oregon 4A. At the time, it was the 4th-ranked Cascade Cougars here in town taking on the 5th-ranked Mazama Vikings. It was the highest matchup of the week. There was also another big game between Banks and Hidden Valley over the weekend as well. Banks absolutely routed Hidden Valley and kind of handed it to him just a little bit over there in Grants Pass. At one point here in town, the Vikes were down by 3 scores facing the Cougars of Cascade, but they came back, and we're going to talk about that. They came back. They brought it within 3 points. They had a chance at the end. Unfortunately, they didn't get the W, but they did learn a lot about the team, and we're going to be talking with Coach Lease about that. We're going to be talking with him about this Friday's appointment, Eagle Point. It's 5A school out of the Rogue Valley, the Eagle Point Eagles. We're going to be talking about the Vikings team health. And for those wondering, rankings on the schools, when I talked to Coach Lease the other day, rankings were not out just yet on the OSAA 4A coaches poll. The OSAA rankings were out. That's based on statistics and numbers getting crunched here on the games. This early in the season, it's kind of not the most accurate system of measurement for the schools and for the teams. The coaches poll does that for us very well. Most of those coaches take into effect the strength of schedule and things like that come into play. As we're talking here, that did come out. Coaches poll, Mazama is ranked 6th. They do have the 2 losses, 1 and 2 on the season, but those losses came at Marshfield, the number 1 rated 4A team in the state. They're absolutely walloping on people. They knocked out a very good Washington team this last weekend as well. Mazama's ranked 9th in the OSAA rankings. Henley has actually had an impressive season so far this year. They're 3-0 on the season. They haven't really been truly tested yet. They've played some opponents that aren't the best in the 4A, one being Wairika, not even in the 4A out of California. They are currently ranked 7th in the coaches poll and 10th in the OSAA rankings. More on the rankings and information there on our website at klamathsports.net. You can find more information there. It is shaping up in 2 weeks. Mazama travels to Henley, and they face each other on Hill O'Brien Field. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. It's how they're both starting league play this year. It is going to be a fantastic match that I cannot wait for as well. I've been looking to this one when the schedule came out. I've been looking forward to this one since day one when I saw this one coming up. We talk a little bit about that Henley matchup with Coach Lease as well, but he really wants to stay focused 1 week at a time, and we spend more time talking about the Eagles. In our Brevada Brewhouse featured interview, I do speak with Daniel Yancey. Daniel is a senior linebacker for the Vikings. He's a multi-sport athlete. He's our second of 3 captains interviews for the Vikings. We're talking to all 3 captains that were voted on by their team and selected by their teammates. A 4th captain does get picked each week, and that's selected by the coaches as well. They kind of rotate that one. We talk with Daniel about what his favorite sport is, and spoiler alert, it's not football. We're going to talk about how he got started playing high school athletics, and he also answers our 10 rapid-fire questions everyone's been answering as well. But first, I want to thank our sponsor for this episode, you, our KS Insiders. You might be asking, who is a KS Insider? A KS Insider is a financial supporter of Klamath Sports Network. I can hear you now. Shit, he wants money. Before you tune me out, listen to this. KS Insider is a way for fans to support what is done here on Klamath Sports Network, because without your support, content and shows like KSN Underground would not exist. Anyone can be a KS Insider, especially if you love high school athletics. Parents and family of players? Check. Fans of a school or program? Check. Fans of what we do here at Klamath Sports Network? Check. People with a pulse? Check. I invite you to help by pledging as little as $5 per month. Every little bit helps keep me caffeinated and fuel in the tank to cover those road games. For more information, visit klamathsports.net and click on the yellow button at the top of the page that says Become a KS Insider. Our program is managed via the Patreon platform. There is no obligation for you to sign up. You can cancel at any time. Pledges start at $5 per month. Content like this cannot be made without support from people like you. Thank you. Now, on to the show. It's now time for Talkin Viks. Here's my interview this week with Mazama Vikings head football coach, Vic Lease. Looking back at Cascade, final 31-28. It didn't look that close in the first half. Total offensive yards, 310 to 186. What's your take on what happened in the first half there against Cascade?
We didn't come ready to play. There's no way to sugarcoat it. We just didn't come ready to play. They did, we did.
One of the things I noticed on the sideline, there wasn't much chatter. It was really quiet. The boys seemed, well, as you put it, not ready to play. Are you guys going to be looking at changing maybe some of that next week, getting that excitement going from the very beginning?
You know, I think we have. We kind of approach things differently on Monday than we have the last few weeks, and I think you will see a different team starting the game on Friday than you have. It was very similar to Marshfield. I didn't believe we were ready to play against Marshfield either mentally, and it just kind of magnified it.
Total offensive yards, you guys held Cascade to just 58 yards in the second half. You guys got 148 yourself. What did you do? What halftime adjustments did you guys make?
We didn't. I mean, to be quite honest with you, we didn't. We didn't feel like we were doing anything that we hadn't game planned for that wouldn't be successful. We felt like our defense was the correct defense to defend them, and we felt like our offensive game plan was exactly what we needed to do. And we just told them at halftime we need to start playing the way we're capable of playing and executing on offense and defense. And we definitely needed to tackle better. I mean, we hit that quarterback and running back I don't know how many times in their backfield or at the line of scrimmage, and the kid either gained 5 or 6 more yards or broke tackles and made a big run. And that's just effort. You know, that's just effort and desire, and challenge the boys to have a better second half to start playing and executing, and they did.
So I went back and I looked, couldn't remember the last home loss here at Viking Field that wasn't a playoff game. I went back and I looked. It was September 16, 2016, 6 seasons ago. There was a 20-game home winning streak, regular season streak here that Cascade happened to snap. Do the boys know this? Have they seen this?
No, I don't. I think they know what our record has been over the last, since we took over the program. Our home record, I believe, is until last Friday, it was 33-4. We've lost 4 games at home in the span of 8 years. This being our 9th. That now we're 33-5. So they do know that. That was addressed. That one of the main things when we came in and took over this program was to be tough at home. And when people came to Viking Field, they knew they were in for it, a long night. Yeah, they know. They definitely know.
Seeing how things went last week, got Eagle Point 5A school. You're at home. It's your second of 4 games at home. Again, Eagle Point being a 5A school, they're 2-1 on the season. They lost to Churchill 28-35. They defeated Springfield 24-7 and Willamette 13-6. What's your scouting report on them? Are you guys concerned with Eagle Point?
Yeah, they're an explosive offensive team. They can make big plays, and that's what they did in a number of those games. One game they broke off a big touchdown pass, another one they broke off a big run, and we just have to, play solid defense and not give up the big play. If we do that, we'll be okay Friday night. They have some significant size. They're big. Their roster shows a number of kids over 200 pounds, over 6 foot. And, traditionally they have gotten out of their 43 defense and gotten into an 8-man front against us to stop our running game. It'll be interesting to see. I anticipate us playing a lot better this Friday night than we did last Friday night. I believe we'll play all 4 quarters and get things going. Our focus is to continually improve, and we didn't start the game like we wanted to, so that's an area we need to improve this Friday night. That's going to be one of our focal.
You guys faced Eagle Point last spring in Eagle Point. Is this going to be the same team, or are they a little different?
No, they do have a lot of kids coming back. They have a number of kids. I believe Coach Fullerton told me they had about 8 kids on offense coming back, and I think they got about 6 or 7 kids coming back on defense. They got a lot of players, talented players that are getting used to this new coach's system. They're going to be tough. They're 2-1 for a reason. They've been able to execute and get some things done and be successful. They haven't played at home either. They've had a home game, but it's at a different field because of smoke, and they're going to be on the road again. So they're seasoned when it comes to traveling and being on the road. That's not going to be an issue. It's going to be like a home game for them Friday night because, we're probably the closest that they've played since the start of the season.
I would imagine their fan base is going to be coming over here. They're going to have a pretty good, strong visitor section.
Oh, yes. There's no doubt about it.
Looking at those guys, looking at the Eagles, who are you watching out for? Who's their skill players?
They have a middle linebacker that is pretty good player. He's not very big, but he's a very physical kid, and he reads really well, and his name's Isaiah Hill. He's scrappy. He started for him as a sophomore, and he just so happens to be the nephew of our building principal here. So he's a physical kid, and he gets after it. He's also a running back for him, and he runs the ball really well. The other running back they have is David Brown. He's a little bigger. He's about 6 foot, 160 pounds, and he runs the ball pretty well. And so those two kids, offensively and defensively, play pretty well. They have another linebacker, Josh, I believe it's Bayan. He's 6 foot, 155 pound kid, but he's physical and he gets after it. So their quarterback, he's a new kid, not the same kid they had last year. The kid that they played quarterback last year is now a defensive back. But Caden Lacey, 6'3", 210 pound kid. He likes to sling it. They're pretty balanced on offense, run, pass. And he's got a really good receiver in Jimmy Copeland. He's 6 foot 180 pound senior, split end for him, and they put him on the perimeter, try to put him in space and make some things happen. And they got a couple other good receivers too, but that number 11, he's their go-to guy. He's the one they like most. So we're just gonna have to keep an eye on him and play good defense. So.
This will be kind of the first balanced team that you'll face this year. Marshfield was a little heavier on the pass, and last week Prater was more of the balanced team, I guess, of all the ones that you faced so far. But last weekend it was pretty heavy on the run as well. What's your guys going to do to get ready on defense to be ready for that balanced offense?
We have every one of their game films, so we've broken them down pretty thoroughly. We have everything they've ran the last 3 weeks. That's what we'll do. We'll put a scouting book together, and we'll show the boys their plays over and over and over again, their favorite ones, by the percentages anyways. That's what we do, every week. And so the more film we have, the better off we are. Boys will watch film today at lunchtime and start getting them figured out, what they like to do, what their personality is in each position. And that's the biggest thing to prepare them, especially defensively. Offensively, we'll look at a couple of players on their team defensively, who we think that is going to be strong for them, who we think that we might be able to get some things done against. We analyze that, and of course we put our package together in our game plan with that focus. Now, with a week like this coming in and they change their defense, we're going to have to figure it out really fast on what they did personnel-wise, how they're going to attack us defensively. We know they're not going to sit back and just let us do what we want to do. They're gonna try to mess some things up for us and try to give us some problems. Cascade did that last Friday. They did some X stunts off the edge, and we caught them in that stunt a couple of times, and they caught us stunt a couple of times. But when we have our head up and we can see it coming, we usually can block those types. We anticipate them trying to blitz us inside with their linebackers and keep our heads up. We pick those up. That could go in our favor.
4 weeks in, we're starting our fourth week here. It's fourth game for you guys. How are the boys handling up? You guys got any injuries on the team yet?
Yeah, we're a little banged up. Cascade is a physical football team, and we're a little dinged up right now. We have a running back that's a little banged up. We have two running backs that are a little banged up. One more from cramps than anything else, but Zeke took some shots on Friday night. He's in question whether or not he will start on Friday. We're looking at some other kids. Line-wise, we look okay, but it's tough. We got a lot of guys going both ways, and this is one of the groups that we've had since we've been here that we have a lot of kids going both ways. So we'll just have to wait and see as the week progresses if we're going to be healthy or not. But Zeke's going to be the tough one to replace if he can't go on Friday.
Well, hopefully a few days off, rest, not having to worry about a game will help Zeke get ready for Friday.
Right. We're going to keep him out of practice today, so we're going to make him stand.
Last week, it might have been 2 weeks ago on the show here, we were talking a bit about strength of schedule. Put a stronger preseason non-league games together to help your team get ready for league contest. You've been, correct me if I'm wrong, this will be going for your 8th league championship in a row.
Yes.
Having a stronger opponents in your preseason in your non-league games really does help put that forward on the league season. Number 1, Marshfield, you played number 6. They were number 6 at the time, 5A Crater, number 4 Cascade, and now 5A Eagle Point. Looking 2 weeks down the road, you got Henley as the league opener at Henley. How are these games going to prepare you for Henley?
We believe Henley will be one of the more competitive teams in our league. That was the whole reason behind the preseason. We thought we would be pretty good again, even though we lost a ton of kids and we only had a couple kids returning on defense and 3 kids returning on offense. We felt like we're still going to be a top caliber team, and I believe we are. We just haven't progressed as fast as I've liked. Henley's going to be tough. They're 3-0 right now. They're talking up a storm over there in South County. How they're going to get after us and everything. So we look forward to it. It's a rivalry game. KU's rivalry game, Southside series, and we've been working towards evening up that series because Henley leads in that series. We got to take care of Eagle Point this Friday and do what we need to do. But, Henley's always in the back of our mind, and we're looking forward to that contest. We believe we've played the tougher schedule, fared fairly well. We're down by 2 scores to the number 1 team in the state, and I believe Cascade is probably the 3rd or 4th ranked team in the state right now, and they probably are the 3rd or 4th ranked team legitimately in the state right now, and we lost to them by 3 points. We feel pretty good about it. Crater's tough, and Eagle Point's going to be tough, 2 5A schools, so, preseason will speak for itself.
The game against against Cascade, you guys were down 3 scores, and you were able to bring it back within 3 points. That speaks volumes right there. There was a chance, and you guys had an opportunity. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way we were hoping it would go. But Cascade's a tough team, as you said, and the OSAA rankings came out yesterday, I believe, and they're in the 4th in that one. I'm still waiting to see the coaches poll come out as the time we're talking here today. I'm not sure where they're going to fall in there. We will drop a couple spots in the coaches, and then the OSAA rankings, it was 9.
I don't know if we will, to be honest with you. The coaches that are voting, I think they're paying attention to what's going on. They know Cascade's really good. They know Marshfield's good. Marshfield made a huge statement last week by beating Prairie out of Washington. Prairie is a power in Washington, and that was like them beating Prairie was like us beating Thurston last year, very similar. And so for us to hang with Marshfield being down a couple of scores and being right there with Cascade, I think the coaches are going to recognize. I doubt we drop out of the top 5. If we do, we'll probably slip to 6.
That's the nice thing about the coaches polls. They are taking that strength of schedule into consideration, where the OSA rankings is purely statistical.
Yes, it's all numbers.
It's all numbers there. So, Coach, it's good to talk with you here today. Thank you for being on. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, not at all. Just appreciate being on your show and keep doing a good job.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach. Thanks for being on once again.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Lease, for taking time out of your busy day to talk with us here on the KSN Underground Podcast. We have very greatly appreciate your input as to what's happening in Viking Nation. And now, the Brevada Brewhouse featured interview with Daniel Yancey. Daniel started playing football his freshman year. This being his senior year, he was voted as one of 3 team captains by his teammates. We talked a little bit about that earlier. We're going to talk a little bit more with Daniel and what inspires him, who he admires, who he thinks is his biggest fan. We got more with Daniel right here. So Daniel, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So how long have you been playing football?
I've kind of been off and on with football. I'd play a couple years and then I'd take a couple years off. I started in 3rd grade and then played 7th grade. I played 6th grade, skipped 7th grade, played 8th. And then I think it was Isaac Pena actually talked me into playing high school football freshman year. And after freshman year, I just loved it so much I had to play again. So I just stayed with it ever since.
What's been your favorite position you've played?
6th grade, I weighed too much in Pop Warner to play with my age guys, so I had to play up. And so I was the 10 play guy, didn't get much playing time. And one of my coaches I actually noticed that I had to get in before the game was over, so I had to give him my plays. So he just threw me in at corner, just like so I could be out there. I kind of liked it a lot because I got guys that were my size, guys that were shorter, because I was a short, fat guy in 6th grade. I thought that was kind of fun. And then I really enjoy middle linebacker as well. I like just being able to fly around and make a play.
Why have you chosen to keep playing football? You said you played off and on, but you caught into high school ball and you've been loving it ever since. Why have you chosen to keep playing?
I had a blast my freshman year, actually. So in Pop Warner, I didn't really have much fun because, once again, I was the 10-play guy. Didn't get much playing time. Freshman year, I finally got the playing time that I liked. I was playing on the line, either a guard or a tackle, and middle linebacker as well. It was just so fun with the guys I was playing. Brandon Gailey, Caden Bolanos, Isaac Pena, Aiden Kinn, Nathan Tramp. It was a blast. And we had a great year. I think we went 8-0 that year, and we just had such a fun time playing. And so I had to come back my sophomore year, and I just kept having fun every year. It was mainly with the guys that were there, just being able to play with them and have a blast.
Lots of stories I'm sure you could tell from those bus rides as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to ask you those stories, but I might want to hear them sometime.
Yeah.
So 60 minutes before kickoff, what is your routine? Are you the dude with the headset kind of chilling out? Or are you the one in the corner? Are you the hype man, you getting everybody pumped? What's happening 60 minutes before a game?
I'm kind of the quiet guy. In my opinion, everybody has their own. Like, some people find it well to hype each other up. I don't really like to get hyped up 60 minutes before a game, maybe like 10 minutes in before. Mm-hmm. I used to be the headphone guy. Sometimes I'll forget my headphones, so I just kind of mentally prepare. But I'll sit and visualize my jobs, see my success on the field for the future. So
you're kind of thinking about the things that you want to happen.
Yeah.
So you're a multi-sport athlete. You're playing football, basketball, and you throw on track. What is your favorite sport you like to play?
It's got to be basketball. I've been playing basketball ever since I was little, and I've enjoyed it ever since I was little.
What is it about basketball that keeps bringing you back to that sport?
Just it's so fun. I just like the versatility it has with how you can do everything. You don't have to do just one thing. You're able to shoot the ball, dribble the ball, block a shot, steal the ball, anything. Like, you can shoot a 3, layup, mid-range. There's just so much to it that never gets boring for me.
Do you have any plans after high school yet?
I looked into being a teacher, believe it or not, and I looked into it pretty deeply. And then this year I took a psychology class, and I really liked psychology. I'm going to look both ways.
Is there a specific type of teaching or a grade level that you had your interest?
Kind of older kids, so like middle school, high school. I don't think that I would have the patience to deal with some of these elementary kids, but middle school and high school definitely.
I could see that. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
If you were to go down that road, would you look into coaching while you're doing it?
Absolutely. I would love to coach.
Education or psychology is what you're kind of leaning into. Have you got a school? Are you looking to maybe play ball in college?
I thought about it, but I'm not 100% set in stone on what's going to happen in my life yet. So I'm just kind of looking around right now, seeing interest.
See if those offers come in first.
I mean, maybe.
Very good. Well, Daniel, this is the time that we got our 10 rapid fire questions. You're not supposed to think about them, just supposed to answer. You ready?
Yep.
All right. We'll start off right off the bat. Ducks or Beavers?
Ducks.
Ducks. You're the first guy to say Ducks here on the show. What's your favorite pro football team?
Minnesota Vikings or New York Giants?
Okay, I said one. You can't get two.
All right. Let's go Minnesota.
All right, Minnesota it is. Who is your favorite pro athlete?
He's not alive anymore, but Kobe Bryant definitely has to be mine.
Yeah, as a baller, I can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you admire most?
That's a tough one. I got to go with my cousin Taylor.
Yeah, and why?
He's always been someone that I could look up to. He's in the medical field now. He's living exactly how you'd want to live right now. And he's always been there for me. He's always given me advice. Every time I traveled to Reno to go see him, first thing he'd do is include me in on him, and we'd go outside and just start playing. And it was like we never left each other. It was like we were always next to each other.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's more like a brother than a
yeah,
cousin.
it was exactly like a big brother.
Very cool. What is your most disliked food?
That's a hard one. I'd like to eat, so that's definitely going to be a hard one. I got to go with broccoli.
Oh, yeah, those green tree bush-looking things. Yeah.
That's not food.
Not a fan. You said you like to eat a lot of things. I'm going to add another one in here. What's your favorite food?
That's a tough one. I can't. I really like Alfredo. I'm a big fan of Mexican food. Anything Mexican. Every time I get money, first place I'm going to is Cholitos.
Not sponsored by Cholitos, but hey, if you're listening. Is it Disneyland or Six Flags for you?
Probably Six Flags, because I just can't remember Disneyland. I was too young when we went. We actually went on an 8th grade trip to Six Flags. Remembering Six Flags, it was pretty fun.
What would you say is your dream car?
Well, maybe like a 67 Mustang, because my dad has one. We still got to work on it to get it running.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
Like I said, teacher, probably. That's the most that I've looked into, was teaching. Nothing else really inspired me as much.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla, yep.
Who would you say is your biggest fan?
I have multiple. My mother and my grandparents, they've always came to every game. My grandpa's always calling me saying, hey, what time's your game? Where are you playing? When our games got changed, I think he was the first one to call me actually and say, hey, what's going on? Where am I going? You got to let me know. And I said, it's been 5 minutes since we changed the game. I can't. I knew right now. So I told him, and sure enough, he was there, and got a picture with him after the game because he was so excited to see me.
What would you say to your grandpa right now?
Thank you for everything. He's been there ever since I could.
Grandpas are pretty special people, aren't they?
Yes.
All right. Well, Daniel, I want to thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Go Vikes. We'll see you out on the field. Thank you, Daniel, for being on the show this week and providing some inside information on your high school life and career and goals and where you want to go with things. Thanks for being on the show, Daniel. As we wrap up this podcast today, I want to take a look around the Skyline Conference. And this weekend, number 7 Henley was 3-0 on the season. They travel up to Milwaukee. It's a suburb of Portland there in southeast Portland. They're going to have their hands full with Milwaukee up there. It's going to be an interesting game. Our friend Josh Eldridge, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, he is going to have the call on that game. They're going to be streaming it live through My Basin. So if you're not able to travel with the Hornets, definitely check out that game as well online. North Valley is hosting Elmira. North is 2-1 on the season. Hidden Valley will travel to Sweet Home. Hidden Valley is 1-1 on the season. They lost to Banks last weekend, got routed 35-0 at home. They got blanked at home by Banks. Banks is a powerful team, powerful team. Sweet Home's 2-1 on the season. They're at home, so it's going to be interesting to see if Hidden Valley is able to come back after last week's loss. Klamath Union will host Madras. Madras 1-1 on the season. Klamath Union 0-2. The Pelicans are off to a rough start this year. They've already lost the game due to cancellation. They had to play in Burns. They've had a rough go of it this season, and it's going to be nice to see if they can put a win in the column against Madras at home. It's their home opener. Phoenix, they're 0-3 this week. They're off. They don't have a game scheduled this week. It wasn't a cancellation. They just don't have one scheduled this week. Phoenix gets a week to recover. It'll be interesting to see what happens overall with Phoenix as well. I'm really excited to see that Phoenix even has a team. They were able to sport up a team in the spring as well. The Talent Phoenix area over there got hit by those fires a year ago, and it's really nice to see, even though if they may be struggling a little bit to get some wins out there, it's awesome to see that they're able to bring a team together and keep it going. You know, there's a lot of things that community over there is having trouble with. The fact that they're able to have those players out there and play the game and has been absolutely amazing. I'm really happy to see the Pirates being able to pull something together. As we talked a little bit about already, 5A Eagle Point 2-1 on the season is going to be at number 6 Mazama. They're 1-2. This is our KSN game of the week. We will be there from the sidelines providing updates. When I say we, it's me. I'm going to be there from the sidelines providing updates from the game. You can follow us on our social media for those updates. I'll also be there with the Vikings pregame show 1 hour before kickoff. We're going to be talking the latest developments surrounding the games. If there's any new injuries, we're going to be looking for players to watch on both games as well. We're going to be doing our analysis on that as well. I do want to thank our sponsors here today, you, the KS Insiders, and Brevada Brewhouse, for helping bring this content to you. For my guests this week, Coach Vic Lease and Daniel Yancey, I am Brian Gailey, and we will see you out on the field.